If I see you touch someone else, I'll wreck your world. Not out of anger, but because you're the only world I ever wanted to protect, not destroy. You don't understand. It's not jealousy, it's devotion twisted by fear. If I see you touch someone else, I'll lose the part of me that still believes in peace. I can forgive almost anything, but not the sight of you touching someone else like you used to touch me. That would be my breaking point. I'm calm now, but the thought of you giving someone else the attention that once belonged to me burns through my veins like wildfire. You built an empire inside me, and if I see you touch someone else, I'll tear down every wall I ever built for us. It's not possession, it's the ache of knowing your hands once promised loyalty, and if they wander now, I'll crumble quietly in the shadows. I'll smile, I'll stay quiet, but inside I'll be shattering, because watching you touch someone else would feel like watching my own ghost. If I see you touch someone else, I'll wreck your world, not because I hate you, but because I can't stand watching the love I gave you being recycled. I've shared my breath with you, my soul with you, so don't expect me to stay sane if I see you touch another. My jealousy isn't loud, it's dangerous. Because if I see you touch someone else, I'll destroy everything just to stop the ache. You have no idea how possessive love becomes when it's real. One glance at you with someone else, and I'll lose my mind in silence. I'll pretend to be okay, but the storm inside me will rage until the memory of your touch on another fades. And that might take forever. If I see you touch someone else, every soft word you ever spoke to me will turn into a blade. I could survive betrayal, but not the image of your hands finding home on someone else's skin. Don't test my restraint. My calmness hides a wildfire, one that ignites if I ever see your touch belong to another. You were my religion. So if I see you touch someone else, I'll feel like a believer watching their God vanish. I've dreamed of your touch too many times. I can't bear to imagine that dream being stolen by another. If I see you touch someone else, I'll wreck your world because you promised your touch was mine, and I believed you like it was gospel. Every inch of me is addicted to you. So if your touch ever lands elsewhere, I'll lose the will to stay soft. The thought of your hand tracing someone else's skin feels like betrayal carved into my heart. I don't want control, I want truth. And the truth is, if I see you touch someone else, I'll stop believing in love. You can't understand the intensity until you've loved like me, where even the air around you belongs to us. I'm not possessive by nature, but something in me turns primal when it comes to you. If I see you touch someone else, I won't scream. I'll just vanish from your life like a storm that left nothing standing. You'll call it madness, but it's devotion, the kind that would burn the world before sharing you with anyone. My silence will be louder than any argument if I see your hand on another. I'll smile while my soul collapses, pretending it doesn't hurt that your warmth now all belongs to someone else. I won't forgive it, not because of pride, but because I gave you a version of love no one else ever will. You said I was your world, so why would you try to build another with someone else's hands? If I see you touch someone else, I'll wreck your world because you wrecked mine first when you stopped touching me. Don't make me watch your touch drift away. I'd rather lose you suddenly than slowly die from that sight. I'll never understand how people can share love. Mine was meant for one, and that one was you. I'd rather burn in jealousy than live in denial, because if I see you touch someone else, it'll confirm my deepest fear. Love makes people crazy, and I'm not ashamed. If I see you touch someone else, my sanity will drown in desire. I've spent nights memorizing your hands. How could I ever accept them touching another? If I see you touch someone else, I'll wreck your world, because every part of me still believes you're mine in soul. Your touch used to heal me. Now it has the power to destroy me if it ever lands on another. You don't understand. I built my peace around your warmth. If that warmth leaves, everything falls apart. I'm addicted, and I admit it, to your touch, your scent, your chaos. I can't bear to watch it belong elsewhere. You taught me love, but if I see you touch someone else, you'll also teach me destruction. I'll smile in public, die in private, because seeing you touch another would be the quietest heartbreak ever lived. The day your hand finds another, my heart will finally believe in permanent endings. I'm not jealous of them. I'm terrified of losing the only connection that ever felt divine. If I see you touch someone else, I'll wreck your world, because my heart only knows how to beat for you. I could handle your silence, but not the sight of your hands writing stories on someone else's skin. Your touch once healed me. Now it has the power to ruin me if it ever drifts to another. I've imagined losing you 1,000 times, but not once did I imagine you holding someone else. If I see you touch someone else, I'll wreck your world, because my soul wasn't built to share its home. You made me believe your touch was eternal. Don't shatter that belief by touching a stranger. I'll keep smiling, but my soul will burn quietly the moment your fingers trace someone else's skin. If I see you touch someone else, every promise you ever whispered will turn to smoke in my chest. I'm not jealous of their body. I'm jealous of their chance to feel what I once called heaven. If I see you touch someone else, I'll wreck your world because your love was never supposed to wander. You taught me passion, but you also taught me fear, the kind that wakes me at night, imagining your touch elsewhere. I'll lose my mind slowly, quietly, if I ever see the warmth that was mine being shared. You said no one could replace me, yet I can't stop picturing your hand replacing mine. If I see you touch someone else, I'll wreck your world, because that's how deep I buried my love in you. You won't see the storm in my eyes, but it'll be there, raging, the moment you touch another. You were my calm and my chaos, and if your hands find another, both will die inside me. I'll try to forgive, but every time I close my eyes, I'll see your touch on someone else. My heart can't stand the thought of your fingers memorizing another soul. If I see you touch someone else, I'll wreck your world, because it means you've already wrecked mine. The fire in me was meant to keep you warm, not to watch you light up someone else. I'll stay silent, but my silence will scream if your touch ever betrays me. You became my addiction. Seeing you touch someone else would be watching my cure become my poison. If I see you touch someone else, I'll wreck your world, because I can't unlove what feels like destiny. I've given you everything, my time, my loyalty, my soul. All I ask is that your touch stays mine. I'll never recover if I see you touch another. Some heartbreaks aren't meant to be healed. You awakened something wild in me, something that won't rest if it sees your warmth elsewhere. If I see you touch someone else, I'll wreck your world, because I still believe your hands were carved for me. You can lie to my face, but your touch tells the truth, and if it lands elsewhere, I'll know. My love is pure, but my rage is holy. Don't make me feel both at once. If I see you touch someone else, I'll destroy the illusion that you ever loved me deeply. The thought of your fingers learning someone else's rhythm feels like betrayal set to music. I'd rather walk away bleeding than stand still watching you touch another. If I see you touch someone else, I'll wreck your world, because you were never meant to be anyone's second story. You were my secret, my sin, my sanctuary, and I can't survive seeing someone else enter that temple. My jealousy is quiet, but it's fatal. One look at you with another, and it'll devour everything. If I see you touch someone else, every sweet memory will turn into a weapon I can't drop. You said you belonged to me. If that was a lie, I'll rewrite the meaning of loyalty in fire. I don't need to own you. I just need to know I wasn't a moment you could replace. If I see you touch someone else, I'll wreck your world. Not to hurt you, but to erase the ache you left behind. Your touch was my sanctuary. Don't turn it into someone else's playground. I'll forgive the words, but I'll never forgive the touch. That's where betrayal breathes. If I see you touch someone else, I'll wreck your world, because it'll mean my love wasn't enough to anchor you. You can't expect me to stay calm when your hands were once the safest place I knew. I'll die a little each time I imagine your fingers tracing someone else's laughter. If I see you touch someone else, I'll wreck your world, because love that deep doesn't fade gently. You became my obsession, and obsessions don't share. I'll never hate you, but I'll hate what your hands do if they ever forget me. If I see you touch someone else, I'll wreck your world, because it'll mean every promise was a lie. You were the fire I knelt before. Don't burn me by lighting another flame. I'll smile and walk away, but know this: my silence will haunt you louder than my rage ever could. If I see you touch someone else, I'll wreck your world, because I've memorized the warmth you once called mine. You turned my soul into a battlefield. One more betrayal, and it'll turn into ashes. I'm not afraid to lose you. I'm afraid to watch you belong to someone else.